Boulevard.
Not much has changed with Mar over the years. I mean, he adopted a dog named Lucky, but he is legitimately still doing all of the things that I previously mentioned aside from rapping. He seems to be devoting a lot of his social media presence to TikTok, either posting about his Galaxy Corvette or his trucking job, never missing the chance to flex on all of us.
You know what's going on? I'm out here at Trump Towers, eating good, eating lavish. You know what I'm saying? Got a beautiful view. Hold on, let me flip the camera. Got a beautiful view right there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not living like this, right, Lucky? Lucky. Tell them they not eating. They not living like this. They not eating like this.
Yo, what up, dude?
They not living like this.
Yeah, I was just heading off.
Rooms, by the way.
I definitely made it in, yeah, dude. Yep, I fucking made it inside. Yeah, I gotta go for a bit, but I figured I would just restart the stream and play some videos. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm good, man. I appreciate you asking, dude. Appreciate that. I'm good. I'm just chilling, man. I gotta go for a bit, so I figured I'd just restart the stream and play some videos in case anybody wanted to hang out and watch some shit. So, but thanks, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you checking in, man. Everything's good. But you guys take it easy, and I'll be back. Later, y'all.
The living room. I got a whole apartment, matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? Got a whole bedroom right here. You know what I'm saying? Got the Las Vegas Sphere. You know what's going on.
I think you guys can gather why his tattoo and catchphrase, "Dat way," has taken on such a meme position, telling us that we don't live like that. And I think that's one of the few things that me and Mar can agree on, that myself and hopefully none of you live like that. While going through Mar's TikTok page, I noticed something unusual in the comments section. Constant references to the number 14. For those who don't know, this is the age of Mar's victim from the 2019 case. So needless to say, people have not forgotten the things that he has done, nor will they anytime soon. Let me read you a few of my personal favorite comments. In a video where Mar talks about where he sees himself in 10 years, the comments read, "What about 14 years? 14 McChickens. Buddy, you're just trying to make it to cell number 14. $14 shoes." And my personal favorite, "Fit cost 14 Robux." In my time looking at Little Mar, I found myself increasingly disturbed at just how deep and dark this story went. I had heard about Mar and of course the things that he had done, but I had no idea that he was the McChicken guy, or the subject of various other memes. I also didn't have a grasp on just how depraved Mar is, because he's been doing horrible stuff for over a decade
Bonsai.
now, and really shows
So today, when I left, like I had to run to the post office, and on my door, my door has this super old lock that I don't have a key for, and I leave it open during the day so I can just come and go, and then I close it at night. Well, when I went out the house, I pulled the door shut and I heard it latch, so I had to fucking climb in through a second-story window. About killed myself fucking doing it, but yeah, I basically locked myself out of my house and had to climb in through a window. But that's what happened. Okay, now I'm gone. But I'll be in and out. Y'all take it easy.
no signs of stopping. He is the same as he was years ago, just he's a trucker now, who, might I add, is despised by his fellow truckers, especially those on TikTok. But Lamar Cruz is almost immune to the hate, finding solace in the ever-growing length of his list.
Applied very soon with, you ugly-ass, potato-headed looking N-word. Well, you ugly ass old or something like that, potato headed looking N-word. And I love potatoes. I love eating potatoes, and I do agree 100% that my head and face shape is similar to that of a potato.
Isaac is also frustrated at the number of women who seem to have no interest in the things that he is interested in, and has so many prerequisites for being his girlfriend that very few would fall into the category of even eligible. Realizing this, for a time, Isaac became a self-proclaimed furry, stating that while he would not wear the suits, he definitely had an appreciation for the art and culture, specifically referencing a Winnie the Pooh movie that he really enjoyed, proclaiming the actresses' voices to be hot. He would also profusely blame Disney for turning him into a furry, which is actually a pretty popular conspiracy theory that Disney created the furry fandom by creating all the animated movies they did of animals. I wish that I could sit here and say that this is the depth of Isaac's degeneracy, that he's simply a guy that loves burps and is a furry. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not coming down on burp lovers or furries, but there are a number of things that Isaac has talked about and discussed being into that are very well worth some criticism. One of which being his obsession with Kanika Jenkins. For months, Isaac would not be quiet about this woman named Kanika, how he was such a fan of hers, he loved her, and it was really just the ideal woman for him. Without the context of this being a bad thing, you'd probably think, good for him, he's finally starting to get out of this woman-hating phase. Until we just do a little bit of research into who Kanika Jenkins was. On September 10th, 2017, Kanika Jenkins, a 19-year-old from Chicago, Illinois, was found dead inside of a latched freezer. It is speculated that after a night of partying with her friends, heavily intoxicated, she wandered into this freezer where she became trapped and sadly passed away. Kanika's story would be covered by various national news organizations who still update the public on the family's status. Isaac would have absolutely no way of knowing that this young girl even existed if it wasn't for these news stories of her tragic passing. And it is extremely disturbing that he holds her up as some sort of romantic figure merely because this is how he found her, describing her as the perfect model of what his dream girl would be. Isaac has also made comments comparing himself to Elliot Rodger on numerous occasions. Despite never outwardly displaying violence or threatening anyone but his trolls, I find his obsession with Kanika and Elliot to be quite unnerving, especially with someone who has proclaimed his hate for young women on numerous occasions. Despite his obsessions and intricacies, he still had amassed a fair amount of people who completely agreed with everything he said and loved him as a content creator. They would send him donations, show him support in the comments sections, and generally commiserate about their lives. That is, until he made one of his most controversial remarks, and even some of his most die-hard fans turned on him after this. In a video that he posted to YouTube, he would go on usually about his desire for a girlfriend, and the certain acts that he desired them to perform. Only this time he was hyper-specific about the age range that he wanted this person to be, claiming that he preferred it would be either a 14, 15, or 16-year-old African-American girl. Isaac had gone on this far, receiving a fair amount of criticism for what he had been saying. The stuff about hating women, the stuff about hating movies, about hating certain people. It was all going to get him a relative amount of backlash, but it would be nothing compared to what this would bring down on him. Almost immediately, Isaac made a video claiming that he regretted the comments that he had made about African American teenagers. Despite this, people would begin to spread clips and further discuss Isaac in a broader fashion. He had been observed for years now, don't get me wrong there. There have been people watching him since damn near the start. But he would not come to the wider attention of the public until he made these comments. There is no finer example than the video made by a content creator called The Grease Wizard. He would make a video discussing the various things that Marshall had done as well as claimed, and this would expose him to a far wider audience. Isaac would come to absolutely despise the Grease Wizard for supposedly making a video that painted him in a negative light, often insulting him for being either blue-pilled or British. He would also see coverage from another YouTuber called Based Shaman, who would livestream Isaac's antics on the regular. Even though he truly hated the content creators that were covering him on their channels, this would pale in comparison to the people who doxed him. Isaac's dox had been known for quite a while, and after the comments he had made about the teenage African-American girl, harassment started to ramp up. Both he and his family would grow so sick of it that he would leave the internet completely, and there would be no sign of him for a couple of months. This was very out of the norm for him because he was posting at least once a month for years. He had claimed in a community post that he was officially quitting because of the trolls. In early 2024, Isaac Holmes would return to the internet, this time under a new name, Darth Nihilus. In the time that Isaac had spent off the internet, he managed to grow a pretty impressive beard. It truly looked like a new him, and I thought maybe a new mentality would follow. But I was a fool to think so, and it truly shows my newness to Marshall Mathers IV lore, because if there is one thing about Isaac, well, he never changes.
Us incels also have immense, extreme, severe hatred and anger towards young women because we ourselves as incel men have never been successful with them. We've never been able to, easily and successfully get into relationships with them, whether it be boy and girlfriend relationship or husband and wife relationship, because when it comes to us incel men, whenever we like a woman or women and have a crush on them or whatever, we're too shy of them, we're uncomfortable, nervous, stressed out, and intimidated around them or by them, by their presence, by their physical attractiveness. And it's just too much for us. It's too overwhelming. It's too overbearing for us incel men, even being in the physical presence of any beautiful women anywhere.
While he may have had a new look, it was the same old Isaac. His main content consists of rants, why movies should have been released on certain dates, and why he hates certain people and objects, just like it's always been. But this time something actually was different. He created a TikTok account as well. He would go by the Black-Pilled Joker, and mainly what he would post over there would be news articles pertaining to his incel mindset, thirst trap photos of certain celebrities who were usually blonde and in their mid-20s, and of course arguments in his comments sections, which happen quite frequently. He seems to be using the platform of TikTok to just be getting into arguments with people, as he will respond to nearly every critical comment on his TikTok page. Something that was also new with Isaac is that he had found a job. He claimed that in his time offline that he had spent a couple of months working for Popeyes, but he also claims that it was simply too much for his parents to drive there, as well as the fact that he has to poop at least 3 times in the morning every day. These would be the main factors that played into the end of his employment there. Usually Isaac would talk about how it was physically impossible for him to get a job because he didn't have a laptop, and that no job would ever pay him the amount that he needed to get his beloved gaming PC. So this was a pretty big change for Isaac, and even though he only held the job for a couple of months, it was more than he'd ever worked in his entire life before. It seemed like things had settled back into normal for him. Incel rants, the usual. That is, until a YouTuber approached him to do an in-real-life documentary. Your Favorite Son is a YouTuber who usually covers video game content, but recently has been branching out into creating documentaries over eccentric internet characters. He wanted to do one of these such documentaries on Marshall Mathers IV. Isaac wholeheartedly agreed to be a part of it, wanting to share his side of the story to the world. Your Favorite Son would conduct an interview with Marshall Mathers IV that ended up being so graphic that he canceled the entire documentary. Isaac was absolutely open and unapologetic about his likes especially towards teenage girls, which he mentions out of almost nowhere. Your Favorite Son would also review Isaac's Instagram account, which is full of liked photos of teenage girls in bikinis, as well as various photos and videos of people farting and burping. I would like to say that I completely respect Your Favorite Son's decision on this end. Isaac's comments on this kind of stuff were very limited in the past, so he had no real way of knowing. It had really been years since he had said something like this, but Your Favorite Son would describe him as completely unremorseful and unapologetic when discussing these topics. And sadly, this wouldn't be the end of sus things found out about Isaac. A series of leaked DMs between Isaac and a troll showed that he had a certain infatuation with his sisters. I don't really want to go deeper than that, just know that it is very disturbing because they are much younger than him, and seem to still live in the same home as he does. As where previously Isaac could feign regret, now he has nothing to hide behind. He has talked about these things on numerous occasions, and obviously holds them in high regard. I can already see it now. He will probably claim that I am painting him in a negative light throughout this whole video, and that I have taken into consideration absolutely none of his hardships and struggles. But I would also like to say this. Everything that I've discussed has either come from Isaac's mouth or typed by his hands. No one has forced or even coerced any of this information out of him. He freely shares all of these thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. Isaac, on the chance that you are listening, I know that you hate advice, so I'm gonna spit some facts. This pessimistic attitude that you have is absolute poison. The world that you have created for yourself in your mind has absolutely no hope, when there are so many ways that you can work on improving your life. For over 8 years now you have complained about wanting this gaming PC. If you would have worked this whole time, I guarantee you could have saved enough to actually have it. You have no bills. And if you didn't have this attitude that women are horrible in general, then I guarantee you would have a much easier time finding a partner. And your obsession with Kanika, Elliot, and these teenagers is very well worth criticism. You cannot simp for a girl who died tragically, prop up this horrible, evil man, and lust after these kinds of people without expecting a certain level of negative reaction from the public. But the most important thing I want to tell you, Isaac, is that jealousy does not equal hate. Hating someone just because of jealousy is truly a self-defeating process. If you want something that you don't have, look at someone that has it, see how they got there, and emulate their behavior. It may not work every time, but it's certainly better than just sitting there believing truly that nothing will ever change and it's not even possible. Earl Doobie, also known as the White Bowser, is back. After going into hiding for almost a year now, he has returned with new emails, Reddit posts, and YouTube videos. Emboldened by a few minor squabbles in the community, and the possibility of a new buddy troll, he has returned with the intention of setting the record straight, and claims to have new evidence that will clear his name. For those who don't know who Bowser is, I recommend you go watch my White Bowser video, The White Bowser Story, but I will also give you a quick rundown here and now. Earl would have a series of meltdowns in Smokey MCC's Discord server, saying some extremely disrespectful things to a veteran. Naturally, people were enraged and began to dig into him. Along the way, they would discover a number of disturbing things about Bowser, like his Discord server full of children, his obsession with some extremely creepy anime, and also an incident involving his underage coworker at a movie theater. Earl would not take these discoveries very well at all, and begin to lash out at anyone around him, including my good friend and fellow YouTuber Smokey MCC. Due to the machinations of a troll who was talking to Earl in private, he believed that Smokey MCC was a predator, and Earl would make a YouTube video declaring such. After being informed of Bowser's video, Smokey would make his own. Smokey's video included admissions from Earl, old Reddit posts that he had made, actual evidence, as where Earl's claims against Smokey were just from some random troll. After seeing Smokey's video, Earl was not too happy, and for some reason I don't understand, he offered to start a podcast with me. It would be called 110, and for weeks Bowser would get on and slowly make more admissions, and slowly the public would discover the depth of his crimes, causing him to delete nearly all social media presence and vanish. Well, that is until now. And this truly is some butterfly effect kind of stuff, guys. A comment was left under one of the many White Bowser documentaries that exist today. It stated that they believed Earl was in their Discord server, and they were looking for someone to contact them. Longtime Bowser detractor Liquid Ricky would actually follow up on this comment, and discovered that Earl was yet again in another Discord with minors, and that he had taken a number of steps to hide his identity. Bowser was promptly kicked out of the Discord server and promptly went inactive on that account. But this was not all that Liquid Ricky had discovered. He had also found a new YouTube channel where Bowser was uploading AMVs, anime music videos for short. But this channel was also deleted very shortly after its existence was made public. For a couple of days he was MIA. I had really thought that he'd slipped back into the ether once again. But then Smokey gets an email from him, and it is some of the most egotistical stuff I have heard him say. Hey man, I've been sure to save your email for a while, when I would finally be ready to strike back. I've got 2 screenshots for you. Apparently more than just myself has been lying. In fact, I might have been telling the truth about a few things for a long time. Rest assured. I have like 5 Reddit alt accounts, 5 Discord alt accounts, and many more. A lot of you think I'm still hiding. You couldn't be more wrong. I got a collection of screenshots too as well, and I got a lot of insider knowledge on your operation too. Just a quick pause there. What operation, Earl? Like, what operation? Everything we do is on the live stream. It's re-uploaded to the Rumble. Like, there's nothing in the shadows that's being hidden from anybody. Everything we do is pretty much out there and posted. So this is how I almost know like 100% that he has a new troll that's handling him. The last time he acted like this was back when he called Smokey a predator. He thought he was holding all the cards then. He thinks he's doing it now. You know when I said that you were going to win the battle, you are not going to win the war. The truth has been revealed. I never a minor. All of you lied to everyone. That little house of cards you built, it's gonna come crashing down. You really underestimate your opponent. You forgot I know how to play chess. He's got me there. I do not know how to play chess. I only play checkers. I enjoy checkers. The way he talks here reminds me a lot of Cyrax. A lot of threats, both blatant and veiled. A lot of ego and narcissism. And of course, total lack of hard evidence to support his claims. You see, this exonerating piece of evidence that Bowser claims that he has pertains to his victim from the movie theater incident. Bowser, who is still not denying that the event actually happened, is now contesting the age of his victim, claiming to have new insider info that proved that she was 18. I want you to keep in mind that when this incident occurred, Bowser was in his late 20s, so I personally believe that even if she was 18, which isn't true, people would still be extremely angry at him for this event. He thinks that by proving that she was of age, that now he's going to be able to return and make me and Smokey look like some grand criminals for exposing him. While Bowser doesn't admit that this is his smoking gun right now, it would become very clear through a series of phone calls that he would post to a brand new YouTube channel. The channel would be called Whatever Broski, we assume because the username White Bowser was already taken. Bowser would upload a series of 3 phone calls to 3 different Imagine movie theater locations. For those who don't know, Imagine is a movie theater chain that Earl worked for a couple years ago. Years later, during the height of the Bowser stuff, when he was coming on the show regularly, a comment was left under one of his videos referencing the old movie theater that he worked at. Heavily misinterpreting the comment as a threat, Earl would rush to the movie theater to try to save everyone from some kind of mass tragedy that he believed would happen. The police were called, and upon discovering that there was nothing wrong with the movie theater and learning why Earl had caused this panic in the first place, he was banned from Imagine until 2025. A big wrench in Earl's current plans, as he wants to clear his name by proving no one under the age of 18 could serve alcohol at Imagine theaters. And being as Earl had seen his victim's twin sister deliver beers a couple times, that was all the proof he needed. And just recently, he decided to call a number of Imagine locations to try to prove this. Earl would post these 3 phone calls, and this would be the first time that we had heard his voice in almost a year. And even though some time has passed, it's still the same old Earl.
To speak with an Imagine team member, please press 2. Thank you.
May I help you?
Hi, my name is David. I'm sorry to disturb you at this time, but do you have a manager on duty right now I can talk to?
I'm a manager. What can I do for you?
Okay, so I'm searching for a job for one of my cousins, one of my younger cousins. If you don't have any jobs available at your, I'm trying to help him out. If you don't have any jobs available like at your theater at the time, you can, like give me a different theater location that might have jobs available. But what is the minimum age you have to be to work at an Imagine movie theater location?
I want to say 16, but let me double check real quick.
Okay. Yeah, my if the minimum age to work at Imagine movie theater is 16, then I don't think he'll be able. I mean, I'm sorry, he's my younger cousin. I'm sorry, he's not my son. Jeez, I don't have a son. Yeah. But anyway, I'm getting tongue tied. But if he's 14, so he might have to work at a grocery store first then.
Gotcha. Do you know some of the shops in town are also, like in like Geneva, for instance, also higher on the little bit younger side? I do believe our age is 16, unfortunately.
Okay, so
That
yeah,
might be a good point for
my
you.
cousin has to be 16 in order to get hired at any Imagine theater location. I had a feeling because I knew someone in Michigan. I don't remember his name, but he worked at Imagine theater location, and he knew a lot of other people who were also 16 working there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, I thank you so much for your time. Do you know of
Oh, not a problem.
any other places in any direct area of Geneva, Wisconsin, around your Imagine theater that hire people younger than 16?
Well, as I said, if you're looking for younger than 16, I would recommend maybe going through some of the shops just on that main stretch on Main Street.
Yeah,
Because I do know some of
normal
them.
retail, right? Normal retail.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for helping me out today. I'll try and help my younger cousin out finding a job. But you've been a great help today. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Yep. Bye.
So first, I would like to start by saying that this phone call does in no way, shape, or form prove Earl right in any way. So I have no idea why he would post this or the next 2, because they just prove him wrong. They're all gonna tell him that the minimum age to work there is 16, and the minimum age to serve alcohol varies. Earl is literally calling out of state to different locations using a fake name because he knows that he's not supposed to be doing this kind of stuff. And that if they found out it was Earl calling all these different locations, it could result in a permanent ban. Being as Earl wants to go back in there at the start of next year when his ban is over and interview his old coworkers to try to exonerate his name, he's gonna do anything to not get permanently banned. I also want to add that Earl seems a little nervous during this whole thing, adding back to my theory that he knows he's not supposed to be doing this, and that it's a pretty big risk. He fumbled his story quite a bit. First it was his cousin, then it was his son, and the manager was notably uncomfortable at certain points, as Earl would literally not stop mentioning children. But it wasn't just the phone call that was pure gold. It was also the description underneath the video, which I'm going to read for you right now. Hi guys. Miss me? I've got a lot more to say. However, everyone will have to wait until February of 2025 for more truth to come out. After the false threat on January 4th, 2023 at Imagine Macomb you guys made me think was gonna happen, I got a trespassing order that I cannot set foot on any property owned by Imagine Theaters for the next 2 years. The delusional manic attack you guys caused me to have, thinking my friends would be hurt, all for clicks and more views. I just want to pause and say real quick that the comment that was left under one of Earl's videos that caused him to do this was not even that threatening. It just suggested that Earl shouldn't go back to the movie theater because of what had happened in the past. Earl misconstrued it entirely. Nobody threatened him, nobody caused him to have this but himself. You guys lied to a lot of people, gaslighting me and others. I never a minor. I've never been a I have a lot more insider information from plenty of emails being sent to me. I would ask you to please stop sending threats in my name to Imagine Theater locations under fake booking events. It could get you in trouble with the police for forgery. I got my connections with the Shelby Township PD and working with multiple detectives. The police have seen all the videos about me on YouTube as well. If there's any more doubt that all of you up and I will never be arrested because I did nothing wrong, I did nothing illegal. A lot more of this will be public knowledge, and it can be found on Kiwi Farms, LinkedIn, and Reddit. As I'm sure you've noticed, Earl is dripping with confidence and ego. He really thinks that he has something that is not only going to end me and Smokey's YouTube channels, but completely reverse public opinion on him, which is extremely negative. And even though he could not set foot onto Imagine until 2025, he was going to do something here and now to try and fix things. So he decides to call another Imagine movie theater and see what their minimum age to hire is. Because you know his name is David and he's asking for his cousin.
Hi, my name is David. I'm sorry to disturb you today, but do you have a manager on duty I can speak with?
You're speaking with the manager. How can I help you?
Oh, great. I'm so glad to talk to you today. So, I have a younger cousin, and I'm trying to help him find a job. If your movie theater doesn't have any job openings right now, you can tell me like a different Imagine movie theater location that might have job openings if yours doesn't. But my younger cousin, he's a little young, so I need to ask you, what is the minimum age requirement you have to be to work at an Imagine movie theater location?
You have to be 16 or older.
Okay. Alright, yeah, my younger cousin is 14, so he's not old enough to work yet. Darn it, I wanted to help him out, to find a job. Okay.
Well, it was nice of you to try to help.
Yeah.
Try to help him out.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Do you know of, like, I don't want to keep you too much longer. Do you know of any other, like, normal retail, like, regular grocery stores, like, anywhere around your Imagine movie theater location in Novi that, does hire younger than 16?
I'm not aware of any workplace that will hire younger than 16. No, I'm sorry.
Not even in Novi?
Nope.
What?
I think 16 is generally the minimum age at which people can begin working.
Shoot. I could have swore, like, even for Kroger, you could be as young as 14, but maybe I'm mistaken.
I might be wrong, too. I just know that, I've encountered 16 as the minimum age.
Yeah, because I knew another guy who worked at Imagine Palladium. He knew a bunch of kids who were 16 who worked there, and so he told me the same thing. All right, well, I tried to help my cousin out. Maybe I'll tell him that he's got to concentrate on school instead.
School's important.
It is. You're right. School's important. All right, I'll see you later. Thanks so much for your help. Bye.
No problem.
It's here where we really begin to see just how much Bowser is trying to cover his tracks. Over half this phone call was him asking about locations that weren't Imagine, wondering what their minimum hire age is. It's all part of him covering things up like calling himself David, fabricating all these stories, instead of just outright asking the question. When the guy again said 16, he gives us a Chris Chan-esque sigh. He also mentions the name of the movie theater over and over again. In the past, Earl has tried to incite harassment against these movie theaters to try to get his trolls in trouble, and I believe that this was another aspect of these videos, so that they would be flooded with phone calls complaining about Earl. Do not do this. It's exactly what he wants. Again, I have no reason why Earl would post this call. It does nothing to exonerate him in any way. Honestly, it's a little unsettling, calling multiple locations asking their minimum age to hire with a fake story. And on top of it, it's a movie theater chain that you're banned from because you've had multiple improper instances there. I really don't know how he thought this would help his case in any way. But Bowser was not done yet. He was going to call one more movie theater and post that online. And this time, Bowser goes a little bit more in-depth as to the information he's after.
Frankfurt, how may I help you?
Hi, my name is David. I'm sorry to disturb you today. I'll try not to keep you too long. Can I speak to a manager right quick?
Yeah. What seems to be the issue?
So I have a bit of a younger cousin. I'm 21. I work at one of the Imagine locations in Michigan as a bartender. I'm also a crew lead. But I have a younger cousin. His name's David. He lives in Illinois. He just lost his job, and I really want to help him find a new job really fast. I just need like confirmation of how old you have to be a bartender in Illinois or something. Imagine. I know you have to be trained first, to be one for any Imagine location.
Yeah. For Illinois bartender laws, I know it's 21 you have to be to serve alcohol.
You know what's funny? So back in June 2022, Gretchen Whitmer passed a law for 17-year-olds to serve alcohol. Before that, it was 18. Back in June 2021. So yeah, what's also the minimum age you have to be to work at Imagine movie theaters?
So as long as you are 16 or older, you can be employed at a location.
Okay.
Younger than that, you need a work permit. But we do have people who are still in high school working here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because in Michigan, you have to be 16 to work at any Imagine movie theater location. And I've worked at Imagine movie theater for a long time, and I've seen how June 2021 you had to be 18 to work at a bar. Then 2022 in June you had to be 17 because the labor shortage and COVID, and then it's so on and so forth. But anyways, all right, well. I'll try and help my younger cousin in a different way then.
I was about to say, I could still try to hand you over if you want to still speak to a manager.
Oh, you're not a manager?
No, I am not.
Oh, okay.
I was offering how to help you. I can.
No, I appreciate you, dude. I do. Well, okay, fine. Let me speak to a manager then.
All right, just give me 1 minute.
Okay. Hi, my name is David. I'm not going to keep you too long because I already talked with one of your other coworkers. He kind of told me the same thing that I asked a question about, but I'll be really quick. I'm from an Imagine Michigan location. I'm 21. My name is David. I have a younger cousin in Illinois. He just lost his job, and I'm trying to help him find a new one as quickly as possible. He's a little younger than me. So, in Michigan, you're required to be 17 years old to be a bartender because our governor approved a law in June 2022 for 17-year-olds to be a bartender. Before that, before June 2022, it was 18 back in June 2021. So what about in your state, in Illinois? How old do you have to be a bartender?
To serve in Illinois, you have to be, I believe you have to be one in our jurisdiction.
Say again.
You have to be 21 to serve in this city.
Okay, and that would also mean that and just for one more verification, you also have to be 16 in order to work at any Imagine movie theater location, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because your coworker said that with a work permit you could be younger than 16.
For just Imagine in general, because of the liquor, the bar on the premises, it's 16. We can't take special permits, unfortunately.
I didn't think so. Yeah, because alcohol, yeah, you do have to be. It varies by state and everything and stuff. I'll help my cousin out. Like maybe there's gotta be a different job somewhere. I mean, he can still probably work at your location because he is over 16 years old. Do you have any openings for jobs at Imagine Frankfurt?
We are currently hiring for just the general team member job. Yes.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him to apply, but he will have to wait till he is older to serve alcohol. I wish he lived in Michigan. He could be 17 or 18.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later. He could serve alcohol with me in Imagine, Michigan. All right. Well, anyways, I'll see you later. Thanks for helping me out.
You are welcome.
Okay. Bye.
I find that phone call to be the most unsettling of the three. Earl recites a law passed in June 2022 by Gretchen Whitmer that allows 17-year-olds to serve alcohol in Michigan. Earl believes this to be a key piece of evidence in his innocence. There's a couple problems with that. The incident that happened at Imagine movie theaters happened before this law was passed. And even if it was, 17 is still underage. It is the age people have always claimed his coworker to be. So absolutely none of these phone calls help him in any way. They just give us a little bit of insight as to what Bowser's been up to these past couple months, going through anything and everything to try to prove his innocence, claiming that we framed him, all of this is fake, and we are gaslighting the entire public. It's all so ironic when you consider this began from him making a video called Smokey MCC as a predator, with absolutely zero evidence to back it up. There are mountains of evidence against Earl, and there are mountains of eyes on him. Especially after this return, people are very interested in what he's been up to. But even so, you might be asking yourselves, how did we find this new YouTube channel, Whatever Broski, where these phone calls had been posted? Well, we look no further than r/the White Bowser on Reddit. An account called My1000 Throwaway 69 would make a Reddit post about the phone calls mere minutes after Bowser had posted it to Whatever Broski. At the time, Bowser was masquerading as a troll, so he would title his Reddit posts with extremely negative comments about himself. Despite this extra layer of protection, Bowser was quickly found out and called out over on the subreddit. He would go back and forth with people in the comments for a little while, but he wouldn't post again for some time. While this was all happening, Smokey MCC dropped his video updating everyone on the situation, letting everybody know that Bowser was back, he had sent him an email, making everything public. Like all the other Bowser videos, it's hit with a privacy complaint. A privacy complaint means that someone has put in a complaint to YouTube that they do not want to be included in your video. There are no direct consequences, but it is still something that you don't want. Bowser will do these to damn near every single video that is posted about him. Of course, as always, Bowser denied making the privacy complaints, and he would return to Reddit with one of his final posts of this current saga, titled I didn't want to create a Kiwi Farms account, so I'll post this here. I saw gossip on Kiwi Farms that says I was fired from Kroger's for being another minor. I would like to say this is categorically false, and yet indeed more gossip. It has already been confirmed by another so-called ex-Kroger employee that posted in this subreddit. I was fired from Kroger for being caught shopping on the clock. Even the so-called ex-Kroger employee that posted in this subreddit with an AMA was asked if I ever harassed anyone at Kroger, and they said if he did, it would have spread like wildfire through the workplace. So no. So once again, this is more gossip being spread around about me by trolls. I don't even know for sure if he was fired from Kroger. Bowser just wants to lump in all these rumors so that it makes the things that he actually did look fake or at least more questionable. Bowser likes to hide behind accusing us of bullying him or harassing him, instead of facing the reality that we've done nothing but state the facts to the people. And of course, he's admitted to all of these things throughout our many podcasts that he willingly did with us. No one forced him to stay on. No one forced him to say all the stuff he did. All of it is calculated to make the accusations against him look fake. I've finished round 1 interview with the content creator who has agreed to do the video documentary on me. He has instructed me to stop engaging with the trolls on any form of social media, including the farms, Reddit, email, and otherwise, so we can focus on the video being made. There is supposed to be 3 rounds of interviews I will have with this content creator to get the truth out about everything. And yes, the full documentary about me will not be released until late 2024 or early next year. I've heard Earl reference this documentary numerous times. Is it legit or just some long troll someone's playing, trying to gatekeep him? I have no idea, but it certainly is interesting that we'll have a supposed date for his official return. I also saw more gossip being spread around about me that I have a job as a bartender now. Once again, all of you can keep guessing and panicking about what my new job is, but I will not tell you, and I'm not going to update my LinkedIn either to clue you in on it. I'm making a lot of money though. Rest assured that much. If you want to call every business within a 15-mile radius of my house, be my guest. But you will never find my job. Needle in a haystack, imbeciles. Also, take this as a truth or not, I don't care either way. I am not the one reporting the videos Smokey MCC is making about me. I have been doing all the past 7 months. When I said I moved on, I meant it. And when I said make 200 more videos about me on YouTube, I don't give a shit, I meant it. So I have no idea who is reporting the videos being made on me. In the meantime, keep squirming around and stew in your juices. See ya. Earl is actively encouraging the people that dislike him the most to dig into him deeper. What Earl thought would be a massive turn against me and Smokey turned out to just be the second coming of people looking into him. Basically challenging people on the internet to find where you work is never a good idea, and all Earl has accomplished through this whole new saga is bringing more people to look at him. It has completely backfired, and I really thought that this post would be the last we would hear of him, but legitimately as I'm recording this video, I get a call from my friend Smokey MCC. He says that Bowser has sent him another massive email where he says some pretty wild stuff. I don't even know why I should respond. The only thing I can say is you, all of you, are so weak-minded to a point that I do not understand it on a fundamentally mental level. This hate campaign is starting to span 2 years. That's a waste of time and a waste of your life. I was not raised from childhood or faith to focus on hating someone for this long, or as much, and yet you have let it become your entire YouTube brand. Do you know how pathetic and immature that is? You were not even my victim, and yet you act like I hurt you. If I enjoyed groping women, I would keep doing it, but it is not something I find joy in, nor do I find joy in engaging with someone like you, whose entire empire and financial backing rests on hating one person. You define me based on one accident I did in my life, something I would never do again because I feel remorse and regret for doing it to her in the first place. Not to mention everyone saw it when it happened, so it was not something I tried to hide like a bad person would do. Maybe when you actually learn that I wrote her an apology letter, you might understand, but such a secret will have to wait until the documentary comes out. For now, though, I would like you to please stop saying that I a minor, because the only reason you say it is for the mob mentality to continue, and to keep the clicks rolling in. I have screenshots saying that Redacted, and Redacted started working at Imagine Macomb around April 2019. I have 3 audio recordings that state you must be 16 to work at any Imagine location. I have screenshots from Tyler Colby that what I told you was false about blank being 17. She was always 18. Even if you do the math, it does not add up. If Redacted and Redacted were 16 until April 2019, that means 2 years later in April 2021, they became 18 years old. They were all adults. The incident at the movie theater happened just before Fast and Furious 9 came out, June 24th, 2021. This would mean that blank was not a minor. She was well into being 18 years old when it happened. And yet you are so delusional to do the math, the dates, the audio recordings, and the screenshots that you still think otherwise. Stop spreading lies about me. I do not enjoy what I did to her, and my boss, blank, should have let me take accountability for how I hurt her and gave her that apology letter. I trusted him to do it when he told me he would do it, and he let me down. The entire world will know what I wrote in that letter in the next few months. The guilt I felt for what I did to her haunted me, and that's why I wrote the letter to give her closure. But you don't care about this. You don't care about any of this anymore. Over 75% of your monetary income now is built upon a constant stream of hate towards me. It's sickening when I wasn't even the one to hurt you. Just a little side note, yeah, you tried to ruin his entire YouTube channel through false allegations, Earl, and then ended up getting called out on legitimate allegations against you. You can't act like you have done nothing to no one. Let's get back into the email. Hate drama lasting this long is fucking brainwashing and pure propaganda. It's absurd. I never wanted to hurt her, and I was never attracted to her. She was too young for me in the first place, even if she was 18 at the time. I hate that I keep having to, add in little side notes, but this is not what you've said, Earl. You've stated on numerous occasions that you were into her and her twin sister, so that's a completely invalid point that you made. I actually had eyes for a different woman in the theater at the time. Her name was Blank, and she was 22. Every woman I have ever asked out, or have been attracted to, has been over the age of 18. Blank was over the age of 18. She was the same age as me. Blank, my second girlfriend, was 20. Blank, we met on a dating site when she was 36. Blank was 22 when I asked her out. Do any of these women I am naming sound like children to you? Of course they don't, because I am not attracted to children, nor am I a pal. Get that through your fucking head. But once again, nothing of what I say here matters to you. Just like Cyrax is to Marty, Bowser is to Smokey. You know when I said I moved on? I still hold by that, dude. I don't hate you. I just don't understand you. A person who keeps a hate brigade going for this long for money is what a terrible bully does. People who bully others are insecure. That is the root of all bullying and hate, insecurity. This is why I am not the one false flagging your videos. I do not have the time or energy to waste on that which is useless to me. Clearly, though, you have all the time in the world to talk about people, to hate day in and day out. You know when I first warned you about the iDubbbz effect? I thought you'd listen. But if you want your entire YouTube community to be based around attack and hate, you shouldn't be surprised when people block you on Twitter, dude. Anyways, I've said enough, and I've said my piece. Goodbye. That little ending bit actually says a lot about what Earl's been up to these past couple months he's been offline. He's obviously been looking at our Twitters and seen how upset we were to be blocked by Boogie, Wings, and Tipster. Bowser also talks about how 75% of our YouTube income comes from him. This basically proves that he's been watching the streams these past couple months as well. So I really don't believe him when he says he's moved on. I also don't believe him when he says he hasn't been privacy complaining the videos. The videos I have made about the stuff he's done have been some of the only on my channel to receive these kinds of complaints. Bowser even admitted to me one time that both he and his mother had left a privacy complaint on my White Bowser documentary, so I know he's done it before. Another thing I really want to talk about is this apology letter that he keeps referencing. He believes that once the whole world reads this letter, he's going to be proven innocent of everything. This baffles me because even if the letter is read, it doesn't change that he's still done it and he's admitted to doing it. Just like the whole contention with her age. I doubt the public opinion of what you did would be too different if it was proven that she was 18, which might I add she was not at the time. And why is all of this being mentioned just now? If this is such important key information, why did you withhold it when we did all of our interviews together? I had so many questions, and honestly, I didn't believe that they would be answered until his predetermined return date of 2025. But with what seems to be a recurring theme throughout this video as I'm setting down making it, I get a text from Smokey MCC saying that he had received yet another email from Earl and that it would further discuss some of the topics elaborated on in the one I just read. And this one even mentions me. A massive shout out to Smokey MCC for providing all these emails. You can also find them over on his Twitter, they're very public. Be sure to go check out his channel. Link in the description below. Alright, apparently I have to email you one more time to get a few things straight with you. The content creator I am working with for the documentary said we need to take a break from producing it for a few weeks because one of his family members is close to passing. To be clear with you once again, I am not the one reporting the videos you or Kiwi Tapes are making on me. I don't have time for it. And I don't want to associate with either of you in any way. Now, I have received emails from certain people claiming to be the ones flagging your videos you are making on me. These people wish to remain anonymous because they are afraid of you and your fanbase, Smokey. They all know how your content and your fanbase focuses around harassment and hate campaigns around people, and they do not like that. Him getting emails like this doesn't surprise me. I'm sure that some of them are trollsome, but if they are true, I mean, privacy complaints levied by someone who isn't even in the video are completely worthless, and will do nothing algorithmically or monetarily to the video. And I would also say to these people that you really have nothing to fear out of me and Smokey. We're not these boogeymen that Bowser make us out to be. He wants to sit there and claim that our entire community is built around harassment and bullying, because it's the perfect defense for all the crappy stuff that he's done. In my opinion, there is a huge difference on being called out for doing terrible things and bullying. And if what you and your false flagging friends claim to be true is actually the case, then our YouTube channels would have been deleted a long time ago. Alright, let's get back into the email here. Whether they are flagging your videos to ally with me or be against you, I cannot be sure. What I can say is it is not me flagging your videos, and it is not the content creator I am working with flagging your videos either. There are unknown third parties at work here. Now, if you think otherwise, that your community is so positive, I would like you to take a nice long look at the kind of content you make. Every one of your videos you and Kiwi Tapes produce revolve around labeling certain people in a bad light for things they have done. You have made tweets before about how people block your entire community from attacking them after you make one video on them. That is launching a hate campaign on people. A quick little side note, I have always been baffled as to why Earl believes he should be exempt from criticism. Every other person in the world would be criticized for doing these things, but Earl wants to act like it is because of some kind of label or diagnosis that all these people hate him. And if anyone has incited harassment, it has been Earl, with his constant stream of doxing and inability to not provoke his biggest haters. And then you wonder why people like Mr. Muda get banned from YouTube for harassment and hate when they produce nearly the same kind of content as you. It is the exact same principle as when Leafy attacked Pokimane all those years ago. At least Kiwi Tapes puts in his video descriptions to not harass or send hate towards any person the video documentary is based on. You don't do this at all. You don't seem to care about the toxicity and lack of self-control your community has. I hate to keep making side notes here, but how are me and Smokey complicit in everything that people that watch our videos do? That makes absolutely no sense. Those people have their own free will to do whatever they want. It's not a good thing to get known for on YouTube. Even iDubbbz himself acknowledges that the past videos he made he regrets doing because of how toxic his community became. The last thing I want to say to you is to not listen to any of the clout chasers in your comments sections. I do not know where my victim lives, so it is quite impossible that I stalked her and drove to her house. I am not attracted to her, nor do I care to know how she is doing. And once again, if you're going to prove this rumor, you're going to need to file for an FOIA and produce a restraining order that claims otherwise, that redacted made against me. If you cannot do either of these things, you should not be able to trust the things you are hearing about me from your fan base. Now, if you or Kiwi Tapes wishes to make more videos on me, you can gladly do that. I don't really blame you or hate you for doing so. This economy sucks right now with inflation anyways, and no one having enough money to buy food. It's like I said before, Smokey. Over 7 months have gone by since September 2023. I've moved on in my life. I went to do better things with my time. I got a higher paying job. I stopped associating with my past, and I live in the present. If you are wondering why I was in the video editing Discord server, you can interview any of the moderators in that Discord, including, yeah, I'm gonna redact all those. All of them will come to my defense that I did not prey on any minors in that Discord. I only joined that server for one thing, video editing, which is what I am passionate about and love to do. You and your community, however, seem to be stuck in an infinite loop. Ask yourself one simple thing. Have you or Kiwi Tapes went one single live stream without having read out a donation saying the white Bowser is a predator? That's an obsession, my guy. An unhealthy hate obsession that is starting to span 2 years now, even after I stopped talking to you and Kiwi Tapes altogether. The fact that all of you are holding on to this grudge of hate against me for so long when I was not even the one to hurt you is pathetic. The one